What's going on, you guys? Welcome back. This is the second part to the installation of my electronic heater control valve. And if you haven't checked out the first part, there'll be a link right up here so you can check out the actual installation of the valve itself. In this video, we're going to talk about the wiring. So without further ado, let's get right to it. So here's the wiring harness for that heater control bypass valve. And basically this plugs into the bypass valve, and we got your positive and negative leads, just go straight to the battery, and we got the controller itself. And as you can see, I put it in this box and I kind of mocked it up just for me to test it, and I put silicone just to kind of stabilize everything, make it nice and sturdy, because this is pretty flimsy, and I didn't want it to get damaged because I only got one of them. So I made up this box and attached it and just simulated it. So you can see here it's cold and hot. So cold just means that when I go this way, the valve is completely closed and all of the hot water from the engine is bypassed and it goes right back into the engine. And then when you go over and you turn it this way to hot, basically is no longer bypassed and the water goes out of the engine and into the heater core, and then from the heater core back to the engine. So that's basically what this is. As long as you're not moving this, that the little heater control valve door does not move. That's pretty much the mock-up. Now I wanted to put this in the car. Now that I know it works, I'm happy with it. I've done a lot of tests with it. It works great. Now I need to put it inside the car so that it's easily accessible. And as I was looking in the car, I decided that I'm going to put it in the ashtray. So this is my ashtray removed from the car, and you can see, you can probably guess where I want to put it already just by looking at it. I basically decided that, you see how the knob is round and the lighter is round? Well, since I don't use the lighter at all, I mean, it's not even hooked up. I don't use it at all. It's just there for looks. I decided that, well, since it's not used at all and I want to put some use into this and keep it within reach, well, I'm just going to put this in place of the lighter. So it's going to look factory. It's going to look pretty stock, and it hides away. When I close it, it'll hide away, so you'll only see the door. And then when I want to, control the heater, let's say, I want some heat in the car, I could just open this up and get some heat in the car. And when I want AC and I want to make sure I get max AC, well, I'll just close off all the hot water, bypass all of it, and I got some really cold AC. So this is the plan, and I'm gonna get to work on it. I'm gonna have to remove this out of there. So I'm going to remove that. And then these here, in case you're wondering what these are, if you watched my videos in the past, you've noticed that a long time ago I had put wideband oxygen sensors. So this was bank 1 and this was bank 2, and basically those were just LED lights that came with the LC1 wideband oxygen sensors, and so that's what those lights were for. So I no longer use them, but I left them there because, well, they're holes, and well, I don't want to replace this. So I just left them there, and maybe I'll find some use for them one day. And you can see I just pretty much tied them off because I thought maybe one day I'll get to use them. Okay, so the first thing I had to do was take this off, and this lip here is on the outer edge of the ashtray, you can see there, and this was on the back. So basically I just put my hand on the outer edge to hold this rim, and this just basically screws off. That's basically how you take it apart. So just in case anyone wondered how this thing comes apart, and then after you take this off, you can then pull the lighter portion or this socket portion out. So that's the first thing. So I got that off. So that's done. So we just put this in. So that's, you know, so you can see how it's put together. So that's out. And then I took my ashtray, turned it around to look at the back, and you can kind of see right here there's like it's like a lip basically, and then of course on the other side there's a piece of metal there. So knowing that there's a lip, I figured, okay, well, maybe I can take my contraption, the box that I made, and cut it in such a way that it wedges in between that wall and that wall, or that lip and this wall. And so got out my trusty Dremel and went to work. So basically I cut up the box, so you can see the box here. So I cut it up, and I did it in, you know, I did it slowly. If you take the measurement of this in here, I found that it's basically about 1.5 inches. So you can kind of see that there. So I cut the box up, as you can see all these pieces, cut it up, and I'm left with this. And then what I did was I painted it with my truck bed coating, so that way when I install it, it'll kind of match. I mean, you won't see any of this anyway, because the knob that's gonna go on the front there is gonna cover most of this. So now this basically goes in there, and I'm not gonna put it in all the way, but well, maybe I can. So let me pause the video, put it in so I can show you how it's basically gonna look. Okay, so I put it in there, and you can see how it's going to end up looking like, you know. So it's pretty centered. I made sure that when I cut it, it's pretty centered, and it is a very tight fit. I made sure to kind of cut it a little bit oversized so that I can, you know, get it nice and tight against that wall and against the other wall. So you see there, nice and tight. And that's pretty centered. That's not going anywhere. So that worked out great. So let me get the knob. Let me go get the knob, pause the video one more time, and show you what the end result is gonna end up looking like. Okay, so I got the knob and the little plastic piece that kind of serves as a, I don't know, spacer or whatever. And so that basically goes like that. So you can see only the outer edge is gonna probably be seen. That's why I wanted to paint it black. And then this here, this goes on. Let's see if I can get this on here. Like that. That pretty much, I'm not gonna press it all the way, but you can kind of see how that works. That's gonna look really nice. Really nice. So when we're looking at it straight on, it's gonna look pretty factory, you know. Obviously, you know, there's writing on it, but when you look at it at a glance, it looks factory. And then of course, you can kind of turn it to get your hot and cold settings. And we got ourselves the controls right in the ashtray. And then when we're, you know, we don't want to see the ashtray open, you just basically close it up, and you know, it's hidden away, and it fits in there really well. Fits in there very nicely. So that pretty much covers this portion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to epoxy this in there, and then put some silicone here, or maybe just plain old silicone, because this is really tight, just so that it kind of stays in there. If I ever need to remove it, I want to be able to remove it easily, and that's why I'm using silicone. And obviously I can't use screws because, well, the face of this is the bottom of this thing that I made here. And if I put screws in there to hold it in place, well, you're gonna see the screws in the front, and we can't have that. So that's pretty much the finished product. I just gotta wire it through the car now, connect it to my connector, and we're good to go. So with the wire routing, I first started with plugging it in there, and since the wire in the kit is pretty long, I didn't want to just go straight to the firewall, because then I'll have a whole lot of slack. So I decided I was gonna route it this way, so it goes under, and we got here the wire, here's the wire right here, and I have it set up so that it goes right up, tucked in between the fender and the inner fender, and it goes all the way across. And then see if we can get you looking here, get some light. So there, hopefully that'll show. So there's the control box right here for the wiring, and then I have it going straight into the firewall. So now we'll go inside the car and show you the finished installation. So here we are in the car, and with the installation, this is what I wanted the car's dashboard to look like. Clean, with no switches or anything, very factory-like. But hidden in the ashtray, we have my heater control valve switch, and of course over here we have the wideband. But we're not talking about that, we're talking about the switch. So here it is right here, and you can see it's easy access. I could just, you know, turn it. Right now I have it towards the cold side, but if I want to have some heat in the car, I just turn it towards the hot side, and we have the heater core filling up with hot water from the engine. And so when I do my controls and I put it on heat, we'll have some nice hot air coming from the vents. Now, to power this up, as you recall in the beginning of the video, I stated that I don't even use the lighter anymore, the lighter switch that was there. I just didn't use it anymore because on the Camaro console I have one here, and you can see, and then I also have one down in here, as you can see there. So I already have two within reach, so I didn't want to, you know, have a third one, and I had it disconnected. But because in this car's setup originally, the wiring was always hot, meaning I always had 12 volts connected to the lighter, I decided, well, why not put that wire to use to power up the wiring harness. So it was pretty easy to hook it up because I already had the wiring right here in the behind the dashboard. So I just hooked up the positive and negative wires right here using the factory wires, and I have it all set up. Well, there you have it. The electronic heater control bypass valve installed in the Nova. I was able to keep the interior nice and factory, and at the same time add some modernization to my car in regards to having control over the heater and the cooling. Now, when I want heat, with a turn of a switch, I get some hot water flowing into my heater core to get that, heat flowing nice and hot. And in the summertime, when I'm cruising and I need that AC, turn of a switch, I shut that water off, but maintain the LS water pump's factory intended function by having the water constantly flow. By bypassing it, and it don't go inside the car, but it continuously flow inside the engine. Well, I hope this helps out someone out there with regards to plumbing in a heater control valve into the engine bay with keeping the LS water pump lines, the heater lines, constantly flowing. And you don't have to go electronic, because in part one, I show that you can, buy the vacuum operated heater control valve, or you can have the cable operated heater control valve. I chose electronics because, well, it just makes it easier for me. I'm going with the theme of modernizing the car. I mean, I did a lot of updates to the car if you watched any of my past videos. And I'm pretty big on having, you know, the creature comforts of today, but at the same time having the car look and feel like a 74, you know, down to its roots, the way it's supposed to be, you know, with it being a classic car. So hopefully this helps someone out there, like I said. And if you don't want to miss any of my future videos, hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget that notification bell. Hit the like button because that helps out the channel greatly. And if you want to say hi or communicate with me, or if you have some questions, you can follow me on Instagram. There, I post up photos of the car from time to time, and I give hints when the video is about to drop. So, as always, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. See you on the next one.